I think first we have to address the elephant in the room in that I fully and 100% acknowledge that it's Rickenbacker, right? Or is it Rickenbacker? Rickenbacker. It's what you think it wouldn't be. It's not Rickenbacker, it's Rickenbacker. That's the correct pronunciation. But that being said, I say Rickenbacker all the time, and I don't really give a shit. But I do acknowledge that it's Rickenbacker. Ricks were my coveted guitar when I was a kid. And it didn't have anything to do with the sound because I didn't know what they sounded like. It was strictly based on how they looked. First CD I ever got was Tom Petty Full Moon Fever. It's a picture of Tom Petty on the cover holding a Rickenbacker. And a Rickenbacker compared to, again, Rickenbacker, they're just like the meanest looking fucking guitars. And I was obsessed with them from an early age, but they're expensive guitars. So it wasn't until I was probably like 22 or 23 that I got my first one. This was my first Rickenbacker guitar. This guitar is actually this guitar here on the cover of this record. And James, who plays guitar in my band, he traded, I forget what it was like a Marshall head or something like this, for this Rickenbacker. And I was so pissed off because I was like, I want the Rickenbacker. Like, how are you? You have Les Pauls. You can't have the Rickenbacker. But so anyways, like maybe 6-7 months later, I traded him something or another for it and it became mine. In 2003, we went on tour with Anti-Flag and Rise Against, and at the very last show in Detroit at the Majestic, I threw the guitar up into the air and purposely did not catch it, and it shattered into 4 or 5 pieces. So you can still see the glue line right there and there. It was like completely smashed in half, so I was like, let's paint it really bright yellow and get it fixed. So I had someone paint it yellow, and then for a while the rest of my band made fun of me and called it the Electric Banana. And I had to overcome that and really triumph the human spirit to get to a place where I could play it on stage. This is a 330. And then this is a 360. So the difference between a 360 and a 330 is the 360 has the binding and it has the rounder horns, and then it has the kind of diamond inlays as opposed to the dots. So this was my very first 360 and I loved this guitar. Absolutely fell in love with this guitar. It's still my best sounding Rickenbacker. In 2006 or 2007, my band had signed to Warner Brothers Records and we shot a terrible fucking music video for a song called Thrash Unreal. So the video director was like, this is what we're gonna do for the video. You're all gonna be in this basement. It wasn't a basement. They built a basement on a soundstage, and they were like, we're gonna rig up these things overhead and we're gonna make it look like wine is pouring down on you. And that's what you're gonna do during the video. You're gonna be playing and there's a party upstairs, wine's gonna be coming down on you. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say like, all right, we'll do it, but it's gonna ruin our guitars, so you need to budget in money to get us all new guitars. So I played this guitar in the Thrash Unreal video, and if you look inside, you can still see that it's dyed red inside because the guitar got completely soaked. And I also got Warner Brothers to give me $2,500 to buy this Rickenbacker. So I got another 360 to replace this one. And this one doesn't sound as good, even though in theory they're kind of the same guitar. I wanted to try it out where I had the I had all the finish taken off of the fretboard on this one. If you notice, like this one's shinier than this one, just because all Rickenbackers kind of have that weird finish on the fretboards. So I was like, I don't know what happens if you take it off, and nothing does, everyone, nothing at all. Okay, we'll do the taste test with this one. So. Okay, so there's that one. Sounds like that much more crunch on it and just like fullness to it. Same guitars. When Against Me was doing pre-production for the album New Wave, I was like, look at that recording budget. I think I could sneak in a little bit of space for a Rickenbacker. This is a Rickenbacker 620, Rickenbacker 620. This is so stupid, but I just liked the way it looked. It was ridiculously expensive, and I was like, yeah, let's get that. It doesn't really sound that good. It plays like shit. It doesn't stay in tune, but it looks fucking cool, right? So then this one, which is one of my favorite Ricks, but again, one that I never play live, never recorded with or anything. And this is a Rickenbacker Colorado, and it just looks so rad. I mean, look at that. It has a metal pickguard, and I don't know, I just love the way this Rick looks. Against Me started out as a bedroom project with an acoustic guitar and a 4-track tape recorder. So I ironically got into playing punk rock on an acoustic guitar. For a while when I was younger, I used to get really upset about the term folk punk, specifically referencing, I think it's a Louis Armstrong quote of, all music is folk music, I ain't ever heard no music made by horses. With punk rock, we were using it as a vehicle for activism, and we were really into doing Food Not Bombs. We were really into doing like radical activist gatherings, May Day gatherings, youth liberation conferences, which would be like gatherings in the forest where we'd all drink homebrew and sit around a fire, and you'd play the acoustic guitar because there were no electric outlets. So it was like punk on acoustic guitar. Something about the approach to acoustic guitar is that the rhythm guitar on an acoustic, you have to basically be doing the percussion at the same time, you know? Making the jump just to a straight electric felt weird, like there was some kind of resonance against my body, literally, that I was missing out on. So like just having a semi-hollow kind of was like the intermediate between going from acoustic to fully electric. Love of my life when it comes to Rickenbackers. I have two of them, and they're kind of twins. I got them at the same time. And the first one is this one, and this is a 360. I got this Rickenbacker at Chicago Music Exchange in 2006. It became like my main guitar. I recorded, I'd say, 80% of Against Me's New Wave album on this guitar, which is rare because usually, like, even though I've fronted as a Rick player, oftentimes I record with a Telecaster because when it comes down to it, it's super hard to get the G string on a Rickenbacker to be in tune with the G string on a Les Paul when you're recording. And my other guitar player plays with a Les Paul. So this was like my love of my life guitar. In 2008, I was playing a show on stage and a crowd surfer kicked an SM58 literally down my throat. I closed my eyes for a second and then it was just microphone down my throat, pulled it out, mouthful of shattered teeth. I was so pissed off that like split second, I was like, I'm either gonna fucking destroy this crowd surfer or I'm gonna destroy the guitar, so I destroyed the guitar. And you can see here, there's a crack here. The guitar shattered into probably 5 or 6 pieces, broke along there. If you look here, there's a crack all the way down the body here. The neck broke right there, so the neck was completely separated from the guitar. And I was just like, that's it, the guitar's dead. But then I got it fixed by a luthier in Gainesville, Florida, and it plays better than it did before I smashed it. So I still love this guitar. And this is my Rick 370. Its name is Darth Vader. And it's just, I mean, like, what do you need to say about that? That's like the meanest looking guitar, you know? The difference between a 360 and a 370 is a 370 has 3 pickups. That's it. This is a weird one. I've traded a friend of mine an AC30 actually for, because I had an extra AC30. I only needed the 4. This is like, I don't even know what the model of this is. It's crazy. It's like the bass body for a Rick style, but it's a guitar and then it has slant frets. So when you're wearing it, like, it actually is like, I think the word's ergonomic, right? It's more ergonomic the way your fingers land on the fretboard, because they're slanted like that. And it has like some kind of coil tap that I think was modded onto it afterwards. And I've also, by the way, since gone through and I've replaced all of the bridges on my Ricks with mastery bridges, just because it helps like that much little bit with getting them in tune. It has like a really deep, dark sound to it. This is a Rickenbacker 360 Noir, and there was 25 of these made. They made 25 of the guitars and they made 25 basses. And so it's a 360, but like a 330, it has the dot inlays and horns, and it's the body shape of a 330, but they've decided that because, I don't know, they put the checkerboard binding on it and they painted it all black, that it should be a 360. I don't really get it, but nonetheless, this is a Rickenbacker 360 Noir, one of 25. Feeling the energy of a guitar, Rickenbackers in general are like super temperamental when it comes to that. We're like, I know that if I favor this Noir, because it's the new one specifically, and I take it on tour and play it, that this one is pissed off at me. It is pissed off at me right now. All of a sudden the action got lower on it. It feels really weird. I need to have it fixed. It's like, I need attention now. And that's just it fucking with me. And new guitars, I feel like, have this attitude of like, well, I was born for this. Of course you bought me. I'm the prettiest guitar in the store. And yes, I deserve to be on this record. And yes, I deserve to be on stage. Whereas a used guitar is like, I had that attitude and then I was crushed. I was sold. My owner gave me up, and you know, then I saw what the world was really like. And then you buy it and it's like, thank you. Oh, here's my second shot. I'm gonna be a much better, more loyal guitar for you now. So used guitars, I think, behave like that as opposed to new guitars, which are much more pampered and privileged.